Okie dokie. Boop.
I'll be able to hear you, but I'm gonna heat up some food.
Okay.
So.
Hey, that's okay. Look, you got the headset. You can hear us. You can talk to us.
Yeah.
Everything can progress.
Well, if I go too far away, apparently I stop being.
Yeah, but I think your kitchen should be
Heard.
fine. It's not far from your desk.
Yeah. We'll see.
Bluetooth can be a fickle mistress.
True as that is.
I think
Food
my
is
favorite
important.
dial is the dial that makes me hear myself better. If I turn it up, I can like hear every
Is
weird
this-
noise my mouth makes.
Oh, it's the video. Okay.
And if it, yeah.
Anyway, so after our festive break, who remembers what happens last time?
I remember what happened. We cut down a tree with a man inside.
Yeah.
And then when the tree went down,
Man.
something flew into Cedric and, touched his body, all nice and
What was
happy
that?
like that.
What are you doing?
Okay.
Cedric is not sure how he felt about it.
Clem was both happy and a little upset, but
He did not consent to having whatnots flow through his body.
No, that just kind of happened.
It did.
And
That
then,
wasn't the only thing that just kind of happened.
Well,
Yeah,
many
and then-
things just kind of happened.
And then Davi was like, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna turn this crystal boar tusk into a club, and then
Cut.
lightning.
And then along came Zeus.
And then along came Zeus. He hurled his thunderbolt.
The Council of Giants didn't like that.
oh, the
Don't
criminal.
prove they exist.
I had to.
I got a criminal.
Well, that looks like a
That looks like
Or-
a
thief. I'm gonna guess is the crime.
Bonafide criminal here.
Schrodinger's
Yeah.
Council
Bonafide
of
criminal.
Giants.
Want to wrangle the criminal?
I
Wait.
think
Um,
he needs the dire punishment of more pets. Here we
So
go.
Ethan, you're telling me we're having Schrodinger's Council of
He's running
Giants?
away. He escaped.
They both exist and don't exist until you prove otherwise.
Until you prove otherwise.
well, I
That's
mean,
good.
ain't that just life? But yeah, you guys did beat the tree. You gave Len a burial, which was very nice of you all. Clem chewed Pascal out a little bit more, though it does seem he's developed at least what he hopes is a proper antidote to the problem they caused. So he is going to be out there for a while trying to fix what he broke. He did test
Sorry,
it on
I'm
some
looking
bears,
at
and
very
it did work.
fucker.
So that's nice. You all returned. Clem, unfortunately, by accident, got a bunch of her pillows removed because she told Valile to get the cockroaches out of the house, and she just put the pillows out instead, which got Davi covered in cockroaches.
She only put the cockroach pillows out. We still had extra pillows.
Yes, but a chunk of your pillows got put outside, which is how Davi got covered in cockroaches when he woke up. And we ended off on Edma heading over to the library.
Yeah.
Maurice came to collect Clem and Cedric. And Davi was getting the cockroaches off him in the pond. And poor Zeshi was waiting for the caffeine to kick in.
Yes. When the caffeine
So-
hits.
When that cafe, look, she needs what I've got going on right now. You gotta have your cup of coffee, and you gotta pair that with espresso beans.
Espresso beans? Like,
And coffee.
Dark chocolate covered
like you're
espresso
just eating
beans.
straight espresso
It
beans?
sounds good, but
These
like,
are dark chocolate covered espresso beans. I've never tried chocolate coated coffee beans, so I happened to be at Trader Joe's, saw them, and I was like, I've never tried them. I'll give them a taste. If I don't like them, I get rid of them. But they're
I've had
actually
them
pretty
before.
tasty.
The chocolate's nice and the coffee flavor is kind of nice, but the graininess at the end is kind of off-putting.
I could see the texture being a turnoff, but I don't love the texture, but I don't mind it, and I like the flavors enough to keep eating them.
The
But I can see them not being for everyone.
beans.
Got some beans. What the fuck?
Oh god, not to get too off topic, but did you know that beaning was a thing for a while? Kids were going, and like instead of dog ditching, they were pouring cans of Heinz beans on people's like doormats.
Why?
That is enough of that.
If you hear a loud
God
pop,
damn
it's
it.
Radagast hitting the balloon a little too hard.
God damn it. Oh, honestly, I kind of figured when you threw that balloon, I thought to myself, one of the kittens is gonna pop that, aren't they?
They popped one already, so they learned their lesson. He knows to be gentle with it.
Does he? Did he?
Oh, mistakes happen. Remember, plus or minus 0.05. Anyway, why don't we start? Why
Oh,
don't
he's still
Why
going.
don't we resolve Edma going to the library first? Why don't we start with Edma? So you know where the library is. You make your way over. Nothing much happens on the way. You pass a couple of townsfolk going about their business. You get there. The librarian is at her desk as usual. What would you like to do?
You got any good books for poetry?
Sorry, could you speak up a little?
I just realized I still have my mask on because I forgot to take it off when I got home.
That'll do it.
Do you have any good books on poetry?
And she'll look up from her work. Poetry? Yes. Go 2 shelves down and turn right, and at the very end, at the dead end, you will find a few books on creative writing and some poetry.
Okay. I'll be back in a moment. I'm gonna go there and take a look at what books I can find on the topic.
So for specifically poetry, there's a handful of books that are kind of mixed media where they have poetry in them, as well as short stories and like one novella. And then there's about 5 or 6 books dedicated to pure poetry.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking at those.
What if I want impure poetry?
Well, then you
That's a
gotta
different
go to the
market.
forbidden section.
That's the restricted section. You got to ask for special permission.
What if
I'm
I
not talking
want
about
Doctor?
porn. I'm just talking
if I
about
want,
like summoning an eldritch horror or something.
I think that would be a lot more harder to get than porn.
What if I want Dr. Seuss?
Anyway,
Okay,
my
so-
poetry, what can I find?
Dr. Seuss, you've got to wander into the wilds and find his estate and make a deal with them.
He's probably from the
To
Feywild.
find smut, you have to find a different seller because, there's a decent chance this lady actually isn't packing any smut. Surprisingly, I
Oh
know.
no, not the smut.
I'm not looking for smut, so I think that works out.
Excellent. I would like to ask: are you looking for like the technicalities of poetry, like talking about poetry, or are you looking for books of poems?
Both. Something that discusses poems and has them.
Okay. There's about of the 6, there's 4 that are just pure poems and poetry, and then there's 2 that are more talking about poetry.
I'll grab one of the 4 and one of the 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna head over. How much do
Checking.
you know about the geology around here and the places?
You mean the geology or the geography?
Geography, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just not much of an earth specialist myself.
Yeah, I'm just curious about a couple things around here.
I'm fairly well traveled. Try me.
Huh? Well, I'm hearing something about this temple in the east. And I was wondering if you might have anything here that could help me obtain information about that, or if you might know any of these temples in the east.
Oh,
None of my books talk about specifically the temples I believe you're talking about. It's more of history of or building of spiritually. However, if you're looking for temples eastwards, there's a few scattered about to various gods. Is there one in particular or something about one of these temples?
100% sure. I the information I have is fairly scattered, but I'm gonna guess. Is there anyone there might have anything to do with dominance or anything like that?
Not directly. However, quite a bit east, there is a temple and monastery that sits atop a mountain. Many consider it rather intimidating given its height, so if you're looking for something that someone might view as powerful, wouldn't be a bad one to check.
Thank you. Do you have anything that might give me any amount of information on that? I'll gladly check it out.
Let me see what I have. And she'll stand up from the desk and walk her way over to a shelf that's actually behind her desk. And she'll run her finger along, pull off what looks more like a notebook and flip through it. Let's see. What I gather, it is... From what I gathered, I should say, the last time I was over there was 180 years ago? So it has been quite a while. But when I was over there, it was more of a spiritual temple, mostly used to train monks, find soundness of body and mind within the world, not so much a religious temple. And largely secluded, though there would occasionally be monks who came down for various holidays or permitted, I'm not sure what you would call it, out time, when they would be allowed to wander the world more. Or on occasion you got someone who decided they were done with this monastery.
Okay.
I know the path to it is a bit precarious, and if they haven't been upkeeping it, I imagine time has only eroded it. It goes up the mountain at fairly steep angles at some points. It's not the most even path I'd ever heard of.
Is there a name for this temple or mountain even?
At the time? I cannot promise it goes by the same name, but at the time, it was called the Temple of the Setting Moon.
Okay. I'll look. Thank you for the help.
No trouble.
Check these 2 books out.
Ah, very well. And she'll just pop each one open. She'll take her stamp it with a couple little sparkles flying off, and hand them back. Take as long as you need, but remember, not outside of the town, please.
Will do. Thank you very much. And
Anytime,
I'll start
my dear.
heading back.
Okay. Why don't then we jump over to Clem and Cedric, who are currently accompanying Maurice over to the Institute.
It's go time.
Indeed, and I confess, though it's only been a couple of days, it feels like it's been weeks. Can you just give me a quick recap of what we're trying to investigate here?
A look into what's going on with you? I wouldn't say autopsy, although you are kind of technically dead.
Necropsy?
They wouldn't say biopsy because we're not taking whatever it is out of you, the general concern that it might end your life permanently.
True.
So we're really just going to peel you open and see what's making you tick.
Well, that should be fascinating.
Continuing to consent, of course.
I didn't hear like half of what you said, Ethan.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, hang on. First, let me apologize for talking over Quinn and let him say his part.
I just said, that will be quite fascinating.
Well, do you plan on being awake for this, or would you rather be unconscious? Kind of an important.
No, that's a good question. Actually, I don't know if we've really settled on that. Ethan, when I take damage, do I feel pain?
Feel sort of a numbed pain, not like fully numbed, like when you get numbed up by the dentist or something and you can feel it going in you but it doesn't hurt. It's just a much, comparatively, you experience pain more dulled than most people, but it is still there.
Do I feel like getting peeled open would still be deeply unpleasant if I were awake?
Before you finish the statement, Clem is gonna add, regardless of the level of pain you may feel, it may be a clever idea to keep in mind that you may be a little disturbed by the sight of your body being peeled open.
That's true. That's true.
Which could make any man or woman jump.
I'm not going to lie. I believe if you didn't want to be put under, we'd have to strap you down just to prevent any sudden movement.
And again, Ethan, my question, do I feel like it would still be fucking horrible?
Yes, because the pain would be consistent and constant.
That's fair.
Even at dulled, you might hold out a little longer than your average person, but you have a breaking point like any other one.
To that, I'll say, there's a part of me that's morbidly curious as to what it would look like, but I think I'll go with the anesthetic, assuming that stuff still works on me.
Fair enough.
No.
We'll be sure to take down decent descriptions, and I may be able to make a sketch or two quickly before you wake up.
Fair enough.
Yes, and we'll try to make it as quick as possible, but you are a
Actually, we could
unique case.
chance have one of the anatomy artists from the Institute head down and be a part of it.
I'm sure we could pull someone aside.
They could be in when he's out already and not even know that he's alive.
That's what I was going to say. I have involved as few people as possible currently because it is not, my place to explain your friend's condition to everyone else.
Then let's not worry about it. I'll just make do with what I can get done. I've done my fair share of sketches anyway.
I think between you, myself, and Dr. Crane, we should be able to put something together, hopefully.
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 At least a verbal description, if nothing else.
Oh, certainly. The three of us are nothing if not good of memory.
Absolutely.
And you'll...
Sorry about that, Cedric. That wasn't meant to be offensive.
No offense taken. Well, I'm not doing anything else today, so let's go ahead and get me cut open, what say?
So you're going to say
gusto on you.
Opening the institute door, and there's going to be standing there as if they were about to open the door to go out. There's going to be this. What's the best way to describe it? Suddenly green-looking gnome. She's about your guy. Well, I'm not gonna. Maybe with Cedric that's a bit loose, but she looks about Clem's age, and she's just kind of blankly staring. She's got this basket of tools and herbs and a few barks.
Like she heard what I said, and she's...
You get the sneaking suspicion she heard exactly what you said, and her head's just gonna turn up to you, Clem. You are...
Do I know what this is?
You are mildly familiar with, Delia. It has been a while since I sent you the descriptions.
Yeah, they're a little buried.
In fact, let me resend Delia for you.
That would be fantastic, thank you.
We live in a world where wizards can regularly tell the laws of physics to shut up and sit down. I'm sure you've heard Stranger.
So... She says nothing, and her lips look like they're almost puckering a little. I've sent it over, Phoebe.
Thank you.
The one thing I will say you remember right off the bat, you've talked with her in passing. She has a very weak stomach. You have seen this look once before when you first told her what you did, because she was curious if you were joining the Institute, and you were like, oh, and you explained why, and she gave you this exact same look before, immediately
Disaster.
running off, and she immediately just drops the basket and runs off into the Institute with both hands over her mouth.
Well, that's unfortunate timing. Sorry, Delia.
What's
She'll
the
be fine. She just needs a little bit
What's the matter with that one?
Temple.
weak stomach.
She's not.
Of
gonna be
all the
involved-
workers.
She's not going to be involved in the procedure, then, is she?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh heavens, no! She's a gardener here. She's a green thumb, not a anatomy worker.
She could be both, but well, no, she can't.
No, you told me about the first time you two spoke, and whew,
I didn't know. If I had
I-
known beforehand, I wouldn't have bothered.
I am well aware, but unfortunately it was kind of nature. No one really knew what you did, so no one was there to warn you or her. It was a bad circumstance. Let me just, and she'll bend over and pick up the basket and put it
What are
on the
you
front
doing?
desk. Now then, we have a room on the second floor, so if you'll both just follow me, I will lead you to it. Dr. Crane is waiting. Well, hopefully waiting.
We'll see. I'll follow her.
Alright. She'll lead you up a set of stairs, down a hallway, passing many people, most of them in white coats. A lot of them have gloves on, face masks. Some have some bloodied clothing. Others have various other stains on their jackets, moving jars and buckets around. And she brings you to one room, opens it up to where there is a metal table sitting in the center of the room. It is extremely well lit. And Atticus is standing there in... not scrubs, but the closest thing they would have to scrubs. He's got clean apron on, very clean other clothing on. And she'll
Good morning, Atticus.
close the door. Clementi, hopefully the day finds you well.
So far,
Dr. Crane, is it?
Yes, Atticus Crane. He'll offer a hand at your service.
I imagine you've been briefed of the situation.
Yes. Maurice filled me in on pretty much everything. You are about how I expected you to look.
I'll take a moment to consider whether that's an insult or not, and then just let it pass.
Well, we all know how sensitive.
He's not sensitive per se, but he's still like... I don't know.
Hey?
well,
No
I
point
think
in
we have
waiting.
decided on anesthetics, so whenever you're ready.
I
Assuming
was
we're-
going to ask that.
Yes, assuming-
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Maybe
Worse.
do you have means of causing magically induced sleep if the anesthetics fail?
At that question, his eye just twitches.
I would suggest you keep the
Assure
magic on
you,
it.
sir, I am going to be more than capable of making sure you don't feel a damned thing, even if I have to numb your entire chest by hand.
Ixnay on the magic may.
God, about that. Good. I'll just shut up and get on the table.
Alright. Now, Clementi, we are going to have to ask you to stand at least a little back just because you aren't properly dressed. Obviously remain in the room, but...
Do
Not wearing any pants.
you have any extra aprons, perhaps? I did want to at
That's-
least take a peek once you had him open.
That satyr isn't wearing any pants, and she thought we wouldn't notice.
We did.
I mean, I've got like a skirt thing going on, kind of.
He does.
All right,
We should, yeah.
I'll go looking for one. They can get started in the meantime.
that's
All right,
pretty much Alora's outfit. Never really thought about it.
Kind of, yeah. Though Clem's got more of the tube top going on, where Laura kind of had the full torso.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you need me to roll investigation to find a different one, or?
Sure. Yeah, roll me an investigation.
Honey.
Good old Cedric. So Atticus is going to take a bottle of something, soak a cloth fairly heavily, and you are okay with this, right?
He's just gonna fucking chloroform me.
Well, no time like the present.
Alright. I should warn you, I don't know how well you smell, but it is, sharp. But if you function how we're hoping you're about to function, this should only take a few seconds, maybe a minute. And close your eyes, you don't want it in there. And he'll drape it over the top half of your face, including the nose, leaving the mouth uncovered. And I don't know how close your nose has ever gotten to a bottle of isopropyl.
I don't know what that is.
I know what that's. I know what
alcohol?
that's like.
Oh.
It's
I have not.
similar.
Okay.
If you've ever smelled rubbing alcohol, even from a mild distance, imagine the bottle is right under your nose.
Yeah, Quinn, if you want, I'll let you sniff my 99% isopropyl alcohol if you want.
So basically, I'll get ready. Like, I'm preparing to inhale deeply, and I just start coughing.
Yeah. Actually, could you roll me a Constitution save?
Sure thing, Chief.
Let's
Just
see how
rolling con saves until you
takes
fail
this.
them.
19.
19. So,
Sniff that shit.
you are sitting there unpleasantly, and
Yeah?
Yeah.
you
That's how
certainly
I
feel
wanna
like
smell.
something's getting
You want to
fuzzy.
smell like this?
I want to smell
But
like
you're just
you-
looking for it, and you can even
99%.
You want me
overheat
to
it.
spray it on you, a little spritz?
Atticus.
Just put it in the
No.
shower nozzles and then I'll
This
shower in it.
shouldn't
you know?
be taking this long.
If it's good to clean computers, it's great to clean me.
Strong metabolism, I guess. I'll keep trying.
Leave it on you for too long, but keep trying. We'll give it it could be everything in your body is slowed down due to your state, so it could just mean you take longer.
I feel something. I'll say that much.
Well, that's good. At least it's having some effect. All right, Phoebe, what did you get for investigation?
Computer's taking a fucking year. Okay, there we go.
I was about to say I can see your honey dice right behind you. Oh wait,
Yeah, I already
you're
rolled
talking
them.
about bringing up your sheet. Duh. I don't know why I assumed you were
Investigation.
talking about the digital roller.
19.
19. Yeah. Well, thankfully, back when you were being more seriously asked if you would be interested in joining the Institute, Gwith did show you where the general locker rooms are, and you do remember there being a small closet for extra uniforms in case somebody's got either destroyed or dirtied beyond proper usage.
Hell yeah, brother. Slide that shit on.
There's spare aprons, coats, a few face masks, some gloves too, if you like.
Just putting that shit on.
All right. And Quinn, could you roll me one more Constitution save?
Will do.
Let's see if Cedric's body is willing to give.
6.
6.
There we go.
So, you're sitting there. This stuff is not quite stinging your nose, but it's really starting to get to you. Well, it's like TV just got turned off. All right, and Clem, you walk in as Atticus is removing the cloth from his face. Oh, good. We had spares.
Did you just chloroform him?
That would have taken a lot longer.
What do you mean it would have taken? Oh.
Can we say that Cedric looks really dumb, unconscious, like I don't know, maybe not tongue hanging out, but just like
He just looks down.
Ugly sleeps.
Ugly sleeps, and no one knew because he doesn't need to sleep anymore.
What's the best
Huh.
part?
It's kind
He's
of
good.
adorable.
He's gonna turn to Maurice. Is that normal for your patients? Some of them, yes, actually. Some of them have perished with rather unflattering looks on their faces.
As far as I know, I've been around him enough. He doesn't really sleep, so quite used to method acting. Maybe this is just a chance for his body to actually relax for once. In however many months he's been like this. Anyway.
Well,
shall you do the
tell him.
honors?
Yes, he's gonna pick up a small knife, telling how long this will stay in effect, so better get cracking.
I'm gonna take the rag he had before and hold it on standby in case I need to put it back over. Cedric smell. We're not done.
Cedric, hey guys, what do no.
Back to sleep.
Just call me no, you don't want to see. You don't want to see. Shh, sleep, honey, sleep. This is the bad part. Not done yet.
Oh god, that's funny.
So, following the scar Cedric already has, Atticus very carefully cuts into it and peels some of it back. And surprisingly, it doesn't look terribly decayed inside of him. The muscles don't look particularly vibrant, but they don't look dead.
It reminds me of dry-aged meat. Kind of.
I wouldn't say far off. I've seen this kind of thing in those who have perished early. It's a little like a jerky, but not quite as dry yet. You two always compare your patients to the meat snacks. Atticus, we work with the dead. We find what humor we can. Also, honey, the dead, who's going to care? If we just notice that they look a little bit like jerky.
If it's a proper comparison, then what's the problem?
It is apt. Would you say it's not apt? Is this the time?
Maybe not. I'll shut up.
And he peels some of the muscle back very carefully. And, moves some of the veins, makes very careful sure that he's not tearing more than he has to. And then he peels it back enough, looks down. What the fuck?
Well, that's, I'm assuming, the proper reaction. Can I look?
Yeah, you and Maurice both poke your heads in, and if you recall, on the general look over Maurice gave him earlier, she said it sounded almost like there was something on his heart. Like she could hear it sort of moving as he breathed, not really beating per se, given his state. There is a cage sitting around his heart. And there are these little strips where there's this purplish red energy just flowing through, almost in these circular patterns around the bars.
Right. What?
I admit, this is a first for me.
I think it's a first for all of us.
To complete the picture.
Oh, thank you, Quinn. Thank you.
I'm just gonna push his jaw up, try and close. Yeah, there we go.
While you're method acting, have some inspiration. This is delightful. And Clem, you just push his mouth closed and it just drops open again.
Oh god. Alright, well.
Clementine, have you heard of even anything like this?
I don't know, DM, have I? Do you want me to roll for it?
No, because no, you haven't. Nothing in any of your studies has led to this kind of contraption. You have seen things placed on organs before. This is not something you're familiar with.
Purple magic. This is the weirdest thing I think I've ever come across. And I see a lot of weird things.
Yeah, you're kind of the local expert. To which Maurice elbows him in the arm. Ah, what?
You'd be surprised what kind of things pop up once the bodies lose their general form. Not this, though. I've never seen this before. This is very odd. I'm going to, and I'm gonna, I would have brought my pack with a sketch pad to actually draw it. I wouldn't have, offered that to not do it. And I'm just gonna quickly start, charcoaling in something that looks close enough to it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll to, see how accurate I get or no?
Yeah, give me...
Performance?
Yeah, I'm thinking performance, but it's... That might be our closest
performance
thing.
isn't... What?
There's an optional rule where you can associate skills with different ability scores, maybe a performance with dexterity.
I don't know how that would work, but...
Let me glance here real quick.
It's basically your
Let me
dexterity,
see.
and then if you're proficient, add your proficiency.
Proficient at dexterity or performance?
Well, if you're it would be like your dexterity, and then if you're proficient in performance, then your proficiency bonus on top of that.
Okay, yeah, because I am proficient in performance.
So here's what I'll propose, and tell me if you don't think this is fair. I'd like it to be a medicine check, given that we're talking about anatomical accuracy.
Okay. That's fair.
Makes sense to me.
You know what? You want to know what's funny? No matter what I did, it would always be a +5. So that's another 19.
Another 19. All right. You're getting a pretty good sketch of this thing. And given your time limit, you're also doing the very smart thing of getting a rough drawing of the heart and focusing a lot of your detail on the cage itself. Like you've got
I'm probably
the shape
gonna
of
add
the
like a
heart
little bit of color to the swirls that are going on around there.
Yeah, like the little energy going across the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Maurice is gonna take a closer look at that cage. Ooh, that's also a base 19.
Got a
And
field of experts here, Cedric.
you're in good hands, honestly. Now, the curious thing I'm noticing, as she very carefully runs the tip of her pinky finger under one of the bars.
Holy shit.
This appears to have been installed pre-mortem.
Well, he was still alive. Oh,
Yes.
good lord, I'm glad that boy does not have his memories.
Yes.
That looks like it would have been incredibly painful.
If not properly sedated, given how much... I'm surprised it's sitting here and yet it's not pulling down. That you'd think the weight would be causing so much disruption.
Lift up a little bit, see if it has a weight. Perhaps it merely has the appearance of iron?
And she will, and she's gonna look in closer. Oh dear.
What?
This thing it has weight, but they accounted for that. It has a framework. There are supports going to some of his bones. Even if he were still alive, he probably wouldn't even feel this. Once it all healed. That is a guess, mind you. I couldn't say for
I'm
certain,
gonna
but
add
it's
in
not.
because I can't really see the supports, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add in I'm gonna ask her what they look like and just add some supports from where they might be coming from to
Right.
potential bones they might be attached to.
Right, she describes that there's some, not super intrusive, but there are some supports seemingly connected to the rib cage itself.
Okay.
One seems to run up closer to the sternum.
Attached to his clavicle. Well, this is... I don't even know
Okay.
what to use to describe this, honestly.
Fucking weird.
Honestly, I just feel bad for this guy. Alright.
I don't think we have any additional concerns if you want to start putting him back together.
Yeah, Maurice, if you're done poking around in there, well, you can't blame me. It's what I do for a living. Okay, but he's... Yes.
I know,
he's
it's just
dead.
as confusing to us.
Yes, well, I think I've gotten what I'm going to get, and I would hate to deal more damage.
Fair
So,
enough.
I think we've got what we've got, sew him back up. And he will...
I'll step back to give him his space again.
Yeah, he will very carefully sew Cedric back up. While he's doing that, we're going to jump back to the house. Zeshi, you have been almost laying at the table, just waiting for that. Okay, it's in. And you can finally feel that coffee kicking in.
When the coffee finally hits.
The coffee has finally started to hit.
So Zeshi's just laying on the table, and then she starts twitching. Then she just slams her hands on the table and slowly rises.
I live.
And everyone's gone.
Yeah, there's no one there.
There's one person there. He's just outside.
Right, Dobby.
Yeah.
But he's not inside.
He's not inside, but he can hear somebody screaming, "I live inside the house."
Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, Zeshi's just gonna look around and be like, where is everybody? The hell? What the hell? Where is everybody?
You're gonna say that, and the front door is gonna open, and Valile, with just this pot of flowers, is going to just scuttle her way in and look at you. You're alive!
I am! What you doing, kiddo?
Shop stuff. I'd take care of it while Clem's away.
That's a Clemsley. Where'd you go?
She went with your pale friend over to the Institute and Aunt Maurice.
Oh, alright then. Where'd everyone else go?
The bird guy is out back. I think he was trying to get my cockroaches off of him.
She goes out back.
Doesn't even let her finish.
What, your lion friend? Okay.
She really just wanted to know where.
Dobby was.
She wanted to know who Bobby was, but didn't want to seem inconsiderate. It is not hard to find Davi. He's not exactly a man who tries to hide.
Oh, fuck you. I'm rolling stealth.
Roll himself.
Roll at disadvantage.
Alright then. Nat 1.
Oh my god.
For a second, you're not sure where Davi is, and then you hear what sounds like static electricity. And you just follow it over to where Davi's sitting next to a tree. Also, you notice a few of his feathers on his head are still poking up, almost in a mohawk pattern at the moment.
So Zeshi's just going to look at him and just under her breath, she'll just be like, adorable. And, so what are you doing, Sparky?
I'll just say, you know that lizard hide that I got?
Mm-hmm.
I'm essentially sewing a button into it so it can be worn as just something to go down over the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. And Zeshi just kind of speaks to me and doesn't even register as I'm just sitting there doing this. And I'd say I'm working with like a needle and thread.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll just see me there working on this, and then the needle just zaps out of my hand, just zap, and there it goes. Not again.
Need help just discharging there, buddy.
Davi has tried to discharge. Davi has touched many things, but it does not work. This metal. Davi need, as you say, glove. Davi need 2 glove, maybe 3 glove, probably
Bobby
2.
needs to rage to discharge. Angry discharge.
You know what? DM.
Yes.
I know it's. Make a call on this. What would happen? Would I be? Well, not what would happen. Would I be able to use absorb elements on Dog?
Interesting. Absorb elements.
Not technically what used for, but
No, but there can be exceptions. Let me see here. I'll say, Zeshi, you think it's worth a shot. You think that might just work. That at very least it might just help.
all right, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like think of let's look at him sparking all over. Be like, I'm just gonna like pat him on his mohawk.
So you reach over, spell ready, cast it, and just kind of bop him on the mohawk. And a whole bunch of energy. Davi, you feel like static just go up your entire being. And it just sort of jumps into your hand, Zeshi. You get kind of a shock because it seems to run up your arm, and then just a solid bolt just shoots out your other hand into the ground, assuming your other arm's just kind of hanging at your side.
Yep. That works. Yeah, she's just gonna look at your left hand and be like, yep, that's about what I expected. Remember,
And significantly less sparks are coming off of Davi. In fact, his little mohawk is actually fallen back down a bit.
yeah. Then she's just gonna look at him and say like, alright, try that. If you need more, let me know.
He hath been diffused.
I guess I'll finish up the button I'm making on the lizard hide, and when it's
You are able to do
semi-acceptable,
so.
yeah, when it's semi-acceptable to wear, I'll just kind of put and then pull it over my head, so it's just kind of on my head and shoulders.
Knees and toes.
I don't know. Is it big enough to get to my knees and toes? Did I make a hood that turned into a robe?
Well, you were trying to get a cloak, which can go down pretty far. I'll say, given your stature, it just about reaches your knees. Not quite the toes.
All right, that's good. That's good enough for me. And Davi's just gonna sit there. So this lizard skin, it's like green with some colored highlights on it.
Mostly green, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll just kind of swish it back and forth, look at Zeshi and go, huh, that'll show Cedric. Davi can be cool.
You're cooler than him already, Davi. Looking good.
How can Davi be cooler than Cedric? Cedric's the coolest one in the party.
Well, maybe not anymore. Hey, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
New rivalry has started.
Oh no.
Davi is going to go into town and try and find gloves for hands. Davi does not want to accidentally shock anybody who does not deserve it.
That's generally acceptable.
Thankfully, Stickbird cannot be shocked because he's made of wood.
Trying to think of a one-liner, but I couldn't.
So, Davi's going to go do that, and well, hopefully they have market or glove person. Maybe, well, no. Why would the glove person have belts? That would be silly. But maybe they have 1 million platinum. That would be smart.
Sure, let me just go with you.
Let me just.
I was gonna ask if Zeshi was planning to go with. Okay. As you two go back to the house, and I'm gonna say, Edmar, as you're approaching the front of the house at about the same time, you all hear a violent coughing from inside.
Oh, is that the little one, the Valile?
And then you hear something shatter.
Okay, I'm just gonna rush in.
All right, you all rush in. There is a vase shattered on the floor. Flowers have been scattered from the drop, and Valile is sitting on her ass, sounding like she's actually about to throw up a lung.
I will move over to her, which I'm basically the same size as her, I would think.
Hey, you're a bit bigger than her, actually.
A little bit, alright.
She's a halfling child.
I'll just kind of
Small.
I'll come over, about to like put a hand on her and stop, and I'll go, Valile, do you have medicine? Do you know where the medicine is?
And she's gonna take one hand off her mouth, and she's gonna point to a cabinet up above the main countertop.
I'm assuming Edma ran in with me.
Edma ran in from the front, and I believe Zeshi's right behind you.
Okay. Whichever one of you is taller, that cabinet right now. Davi is too short.
Edma's the tallest.
All right, Edma, you open it up, and there's actually a couple of different bottles and vials, mostly labeled scientifically.
Panic.
Valile, do you know?
Which one do we need?
Valile, do you know which one that you need? Point to it. No words.
She cannot get out any words as she is continuing to hack a whole lot, and she tries to point, but her hand starts to like shake a little bit, and so in her fit, she kind of crawls past you a little, and she grabs one of the blue flowers and holds it up.
The blue one? Is there a blue one up there?
That she has alchemy skills. Well, can I
Is
use
there
that?
a blue one?
Figure out which one she's talking about.
There are two, and Zeshi,
I'm gonna pull the two down.
Okay.
It's gotta be one of these two.
Davi does not like 50-50 shot of killing child.
Zeshi, do you have any ideas?
Do I?
If nobody says anything, I'm just going to
roll
give the
me
child
a medicine check.
Medicine?
Yeah. With advantage due to your knowledge of alchemy.
Alright, let me go get my dice actually.
Because you don't need to know the specifics of the medicine, you just gotta be able to tell which one is probably medicine.
One medicine, the other formaldehyde.
I would not keep that up in the shop area.
That is not a nice assumption of Clem.
Jesus.
Okay, fine, my bad. Citric acid.
It's likely some kind of flower care chemical, which would also not be good for consumption, but...
Alright, so the first was a 21, the second was a 9. Which one do you want?
Well, it's advantage, so you get the 21. You kind of look at them, you kind of tilt them around a little, and through viscosity, opacity, and a few other things, you determine the shorter bottle is probably the medicine. It's acting a bit more like a medication, where the other one is acting more almost like a floral extract, almost like a lavender extract. So you're positive this shorter bottle is the medicine.
Alright, before I do anything, I'm just going to hold it in front of her, like right in front of her face. Let's see if she reacts to it.
She will start, with what little energy she has, she will start nodding.
Alright, and just dump it in her face. Down her throat.
Yep, you'll reach it towards her, she'll reach out and just chug quite a bit of it, not all of it. Not all of it goes down because her coughing does force her to spit some of it onto the floor. But thankfully, within about 30 seconds, her breathing starts to become more regular. Though you do notice a little bit of blood dripping down her lip.
Oh, Jesus.
Does she kneel down next to her, like
Child!
just like kind of like cradling her, like rubbing her head, and doing things that calm the child. Like.
She's gonna try to breathe you in. She's actually gonna, as you do that, she's gonna scoot a little into you.
Do any of you know where Clemar is?
I think they went to the place they went with Cedric the other day.
The Institute, I believe she said.
Slop?
Yes, the Instaput. The Institute.
I'm going to immediately start heading that way.
Okay, see you later, Edma.
I'm getting Clem.
Alright, yeah, Edma, you remember where the Institute was. Clem pointed it out. Kind of a hard building to miss given its size. You enter in, there's a few researchers moving about, and a front desk. What would you like to do?
Is Clem here?
The receptionist looks up. Oh, Clementine? She is... He's gonna look down at the paperwork. Classified?
It's an emergency.
Well, she's on the second floor right now. I can
I'm just
go...
gonna start heading up to the second floor, and once I reach the second floor, I'm just gonna walk out and yell Clem.
Clem, you're sitting there, and you hear the very powerful voice of Edma screaming your name. Unfortunately, the first thing you see as you're focusing is the second you hear it, you see just Atticus jump.
Huh.
I think that's for you. Please go
You
make
alright?
her stop. I didn't expect that. Please go make her stop.
Clem's gonna drop everything and run out and go look for Edma.
Not hard to find the big Leonin.
I hope it's not hard to find.
Edma, what are you doing? Keep it
The
down.
Leo. Important. We had to give him some kind of medicine. Or her. Suck. Anyway.
What
You might want to
happened?
know about it. They were hacking, choking.
Oh, God, all
We
right.
gave them some blue stuff. It seemed like it was
Give
getting
me a
better,
moment.
but
I would source my medicine from the Institute for her, correct?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna first go find some more, just in case, like, if she got this point because there wasn't enough in the house.
Right. Yeah, you know who to talk to. The person running basically the person running the storage area sees you walking up with Edna and just kind of looks at you. Oh, Clem,
Quickly,
you're
please.
big.
It's kind of an emergency. I'm sorry.
Sure. The
Valile as
usual?
usual. Yes.
Yes, of course. 1 bottle, 2.
2, whatever.
Sure. She'll step into the back and come back and set 2 of the short bottles with blue liquid in them.
I slam down payment, I guess. I don't know if
We
have like a deal or
it's
something
not,
with it.
Yeah, you've got a deal going on with.
Got it. So I'm just gonna grab them and run.
This is more part of the. He was willing to treat this as part of payments for the fruit he keeps ordering and other things he asks your
That's
help
fair.
in.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can take them, run out.
And I'm just booking it back home.
You get there fairly quickly.
Okay.
And
So you see Volile, you take 1 spoon and you take other spoon, and when Daphne puts them close together, they just curses in giant.
you and Zeshi kind of both think to yourselves, well, at least they're not flying out of his hands. And you find Davi saying this as Zeshi is sitting on the floor, cradling the child.
I entered, like, practically slamming the door open. Valeria, are you alright? And I'll rush down to her.
Mm-hmm.
A little blood in her mouth, but seems to be doing better now.
Alright. Did you run out of medicine, or did you forget to take your dose this morning?
Mm-mm. I didn't forget. I didn't
Oh
forget.
god, it must be getting worse then. Well, here's 2 more. Did you get your whole dose?
I might have taken extra. I kind of rushed.
That's fair.
And she kind of shows you what's left in the bottle that the party gave her, and there's
Well, you're gonna be
maybe
knocked out
half
in
a
about
dose
an hour.
left.
She did cough a lot up, but
Still might be knocked out in about an hour. Thank you.
Davi's
You
going
three
to
for
look at you, Clem, and
helping
go.
her.
Davi may have possibly charred some of your spoons for entertainment. He is. Holy crap! Davi is inside. This is not safe. And he's gonna throw down the spoons and run outside as fast as he can.
Davi, how far do you go?
There's a field nearby. Yeah.
There's an orchard, yes.
There's an orchard out back, yeah.
And then
Just
there's the
wherever
memorial
there's
garden.
flat grass and no trees and nothing. I'm just going to
The
run out
back
to
of
the
the
middle.
orchard.
I'm gonna run out to the middle of that.
Okay, so you run out into Clem's orchard and are now just standing among her trees and bushes.
Be careful.
Oh,
Ethan,
okay.
there's pre-dug graves out there.
This is probably a lot safer. Nobody can get zapped out here, and no lightning is going to strike the house. This is good.
this is good.
And as you're just kind of relaxing, okay, good, I've managed. You look to your left, and there's just what looks like a... that's a very particular rectangular-shaped hole in the ground.
Well,
There's a couple of them.
Gwen did say that she did the work with the dead bodies, so this is not very surprising. Hell, Tavi just hopes that perhaps the sky people will not strike him with any more lightning and possibly bring the dead back to life. But the sky people are going to be nice to Davi today.
Should I mention that the graves also line up with the trees? Spacing wise, they're the same. It's graves and then trees.
Davi just doesn't really care.
That's fair.
Davi, as you're screaming, as local Kenku screams at clouds, one of the pieces of fruit just kind of happens to pop off the tree and just clunk you in the beak.
What is the fruit?
It's a pear.
Well, it kind of hurt, but it was not as bad as getting struck by lightning. Is that all you've got? Wait a minute, this was not from the sky people, and they're just gonna throw it at the top of the nearest tree. I know you're not the rich people. I will get my money.
Trees.
No rich people fall out, but it does send a couple birds scattering from the tree.
All of the rich people turned themselves into birds to get away from me. I will hunt you down.
With the rest of you, Clem, you are fairly correct. Valile is already starting to pass out.
All right, I should probably bring her back to the institute, considering this is not normal.
She's just gonna reach up at you.
I'll pick her up. Just kind of do like the baby hold.
Yeah, try to.
Where she kind of like peeks over the back.
Yeah.
Gets floppy.
Yeah, you pick her up, and now that you've calmed down a little, you do notice the broken vase and the flowers everywhere.
Oh dear. Well, I'll have to clean that up later. Well, Cedric's currently undergoing some operations, we'll say. So I should return regardless. Feel free to come with if you want to, but
Do you
I
need
thought
help?
you knew.
Do you need help, or do you want me to clean up here looking at the base?
Well, I mean, you're not obligated to, but anything you'd like to do would help, even if it was just keeping an eye on the little one.
Yeah, I suppose I can't leave him running around the field getting struck by lightning.
Davy as well.
Out in the field. Okay, Stick. We have problem. Lightning could strike us at any time, which makes us danger to buildings, people, and friends. What do we do? Davy, you must take precautions to protect those that are important to you. Okay, Stickboard, I will do that. You need to get gloves. Where does one get gloves, Stickboard? Stickboard? Stickboard?
I do not know, Davy. I do not wear gloves.
Not very well.
Okay. Davy will solve this one on his own. But next time, you will give Davy good advice.
I like to imagine that's like Sigbert actually spoke right there and nobody heard it but Davy.
Yeah.
Every time it happens.
And Davy is going to head into town, but he's going to stay like 6 feet off of the road on purpose and just avoid people, like just go around them.
Behind Clem? Because Clem's already heading that way.
Well, if you're heading that way, he's gonna be 6 feet away from you off of the road.
Okay. Zeshi and Edmar, are you guys staying behind, going with Clem?
Edna's gonna find a seat somewhere and just start reading her books.
Well,
Okay.
and if Davi is heading out, then Zeshi will go out. As
Of
well.
course.
Okay.
As
Also-
is-
also
as
the-
is nature.
Also, the
Now here's the issue. Clem, are you going to be staying with? I keep on forgetting her name.
Lele.
Valile?
Kalile. Are you staying with Kalile, or are you going back to Set?
Well, I'd have to deliver Valile to some nurses to be looked over, so I'll probably send her there and then go back to see how Cedric is doing.
I'm just wondering if you want me to be with her, or if I have to go.
It would give me peace of mind if you stayed with her.
All right. Davi, no one is there to giant sit you.
What? What do you mean, giant sit me? You cannot giant sit me. None of you are giants. You expect Davy to sit himself? The only person suitable to giant sit Davy is Stickbird.
All right, Stickbert, you're in charge.
Don't put Stickbird in charge.
Too late.
It's unbelievable. Put Stickbird in charge. And then Davy's just gonna grumble to himself walking into town.
Stickbert, you're in charge.
Now, Stickbert. Don't fuck up.
Stickbird, you're in charge. What? You didn't do that? I just did.
I just.
Alright. Clem, as you and Zeshi enter, you get some concerned looks from some of the workers, given that you are carrying Valile.
Where would I take her? Would I take her right to Gwith?
You could. He is also quite familiar. There is a general care award. It's a bit on the small-ish side, but they do make sure to have rooms dedicated to helping anyone who's currently ill around town.
I'll probably go to the general place. I don't know if Gwith is busy or not. It would take extra time to find him. If I see him beforehand, I'll let him know.
Yeah, especially if he's not in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take her over to the ward, and one of the nurses that you've known, at least, has been there definitely since you've moved in. Oh dear. You've brought her in again, huh?
Might mean another dosage up. She had another really bad fit today, and she kind of like turns Valilia's head and like wipes off the blood.
Oh dear. Alright,
And she's been taking her medicine regularly, so this is concerning.
Quite. Alright, let's see here. And she'll look at a little clipboard in her arm. Room number 7's open. Go ahead and take her in there. I'll send some
Alright.
nurses right over.
My friend here will be keeping an eye on her. I have some other things to attend to.
Alright, as long as you're okay with her being in there, that's fine.
She's nearly as motherly as I am, surprisingly.
Well, need a few more of them around town.
So she's just gonna smirk at her, not saying anything but not denying it.
It was a compliment.
She has a reputation to uphold, but yes.
Can't be known as motherly.
I'm the baddest witch. I'm not your mom. Turns to Davi. You've got schmutz on your beak.
That's exactly it. Right there.
I can't be motherly, Davi. You've got sparks again. Whoop.
Come here.
Come here, you're sparking again.
It takes his face like I take the cat's face to take like eye boogies out.
Just whoop, whoop.
Davi's like, no, stop it.
No, that is giant power. Oh, hush. All right. You drop her off in the room, and obviously, as she's there to watch over her, you head back up, and you open the door as Atticus is finishing up sewing, and he glances over. Is everything okay? It was quite a rush.
Apparently Valile had a fit while I was out. Even on a full dose.
Oh dear.
Well,
Ugh, it's a poor little thing. Do you want me to go check on her? We're just about wrapped up here.
if you could, that would be wonderful.
It's no trouble. And she'll take her gloves off. Oh, you dropped your sketch pad, by the way. We put it on the counter over there.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Do you want me to move him out to one of the more private rooms so you could, free up your space?
Apparently Atticus has an idea on how to wake him back up given his state. It's
Smelling
a theory.
salts?
No.
Yo, are they gonna inject fucking cocaine into Cedric's fucking eye socket?
Right into his veins! What's your plan?
Cedric's about to
We replace all of Cedric's blood with methamphetamine.
Oh my god!
You see, we take his bones and we replace them with crystal meth.
Jesus Christ.
And then we inject some bath salts directly into the cranium.
We take his appendix and turn it into a center that constantly produces LSD.
You see, we take the moon and we take the sun.
And we take the moon.
We take the moon.
Oh
and
god,
we take
no.
the
Canonically, that's what's inside Cedric. And you take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take
God.
the moon.
Anybody else want to see this dopey little raccoon I just painted in this roof? Because
Sure.
roof raccoon. I don't know if you'll be able to see him very well.
Oh, there he is.
Roof coon.
The coon.
Roof coon.
Roof
Roof
coon.
coon.
Yo,
We've had a raccoon problem at work.
them there coons
guys
infested
about
the
it
walls of my house and ate my children.
Oh God, they're not that vile.
Oh, all right.
They're just little
Anyway,
garbage pandas.
Maurice is going to take off her apron and such, hang it up. She's going to give you a hug before exiting the room.
Oh, yeah. Gladly accept that and just be like, thank you.
And Atticus is just pulling off his gloves. Listen, the theory's a little barbaric, I suppose.
You know that's never stopped me before.
I hate that you're right. Anyway, he's gonna walk over and pull out needle about that big, that thick.
Oh god, are we doing the scene from Pulp Fiction
Shit. No.
where we put adrenaline, like the one I'm talking about?
Straight into the where they're dumbasses and they're like, yeah, just go through the. You've got to get through the storm. It's like,
right.
no, just go through the. Just go between the ribs. You idiots. I've never done it before. You do it. No, I'm not
just
doing
hit
it.
her, and then she's like, she has the big fucking needle stuck in her.
Oh god.
God, that's dumb. No, we're not going that far. So basically, I'm taking a guess at how much of him is currently active. If I can hit him in the right nerve head, it might actually jolt the rest of him back and flush the drug we gave him quicker. By basically very temporarily shutting off some of his olfactory nerves. It's completely hypothetical and doesn't have much of a basis, but given his condition...
I have a feeling you want to experiment and see if this works, rather than just letting him wake up naturally. Are you concerned it would take too long for him to wake up naturally, considered his condition?
No, if anything, he'll wake up quicker. Drugs will probably move through his... Actually, they might move through slower, I'm not sure.
Well, no idea what his metabolism is like.
Well, given that I don't know how long it will take him, I figured it's at least worth trying. It's not a deep injection. It'll be... It's not even in the neck. I don't know why I pointed there. It's not very deep. It's not like I'm jamming it in there. It's a pretty light prick.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
As long as it doesn't hurt him too much.
Well, he's gonna, sit Cedric up. I don't think he's gonna feel anything right now.
I'll help hold him up.
And this should be... his face got worse hanging down.
You're sitting up. God. Just hold his jaw closed so he doesn't bite his tongue.
Yeah, alright, I mean...
who am I to judge
I'm holding
a
your
warrior?
mouth closed so you don't bite your tongue. Yeah, there you go.
Who am I to judge a warrior by his size?
I do want to make...
his facial nerve.
I want to make something clear here, Clem. If this works, please don't try to repeat this.
I don't see why I would have a reason to, but understood.
I'm not putting anything to the side with this guy.
Fair enough.
If he can exist as is, and he's gonna just very carefully put the needle towards the back of Cedric's neck. Okay. And he's gonna jam it in, not very far, less than a couple millimeters in. Cedric, you kind of snap awake.
TV on.
It's like when you're slapped out of a dream, but without the slap.
Did you try unplugging him and plugging him back in?
It's a very sudden jolt.
Well, your face is back to normal, at least.
And you just hear Atticus. Oh, holy shit, that worked.
I'd forgotten what sleeping feels like.
Was it pleasant, at least?
I think I hate it.
You think you hate it? Well, it should be pleasant, but oh well. You might want to take a little recovery time, considering...
Yeah.
We were successful, and I think you need a moment to wake up before we discuss what we saw inside of you.
Fair enough. Anything...
How do you feel?
Well... My motor functions seem to still be working.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I feel fine for the most part.
Okay, no lingering pain at the moment. Okay. From what I can tell you, those scars are probably pretty permanent. The tissue has quite a bit of damage. I couldn't tell you exactly why. Either whatever was used to make it originally wasn't cutting in quite the right area to get the skin to heal properly, or is a bad hand, or it could very much just be how the instrument was designed, or it could just be a byproduct of this.
The instrument.
So,
Used to cut you open.
Oh.
yes, the thing that made
whatever
that
that is
incision
inside of you.
originally. If you cut the skin in an odd direction, it tends to scar up. So, again, I couldn't tell you exactly why, but despite the stitching, those scars are still going to be there.
Fred Boat's getting real choppy.
Sounds fine on my end.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Same, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's been giving us a bit of grief, honestly.
It's stuttering for me, so I'm just gonna turn him down a little bit.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, normally I'd hold you for a couple of hours just to see how you're doing, but I think having you under Clem's watch is fine enough. She knows to bring you back if something happens.
Right. Yep.
Your shirt and coat are by the door.
All right. Well, thank you for your assistance.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Atticus.
Sure, and give my best to the kid. I'm sorry to hear she isn't doing so hot.
Will do. Thank you.
What happened?
I'll explain when we leave.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing stopping you guys from grabbing Cedric's clothes and heading out of the room.
Then I'll explain the events that occurred while he was down.
His cloak, and there's a man there for a moment, and he's suddenly gone.
No.
Why is this
The
coat?
clothing hook
Why
sweats
is my
nervously.
coat covered in sweat?
Because the hook is sweating nervously.
Do you sweat? Normally?
I haven't really noticed.
They're on to me. It's like smoke bomb down or something.
Just like, did you hear something? No.
No.
The coat rack
All right.
clacks menacingly.
Oh,
Yeah, Valile had a coughing fit, a pretty terrible one, while we were gone, and it was bad enough that Edma came rushing here and called for me. So I brought her back, and we're going to have her examined and probably have her dosage upped again.
I see.
It's scary when these kinds of things happen when I'm not around.
Sorry to be an inconvenience.
Oh, you're not an inconvenience. It's not your fault. I'm away for shop stuff all the time. Occasionally it happens. Maurice is the one that finds her. You usually have Maurice hang out around her a little more often when I'm gone, but... Oh, you never know.
So,
Could happen any minute.
what's the word?
Right. You might want to take a seat for this. And I'm gonna find like a bench in the hallway.
I honestly don't know if there's anything that would surprise me at this point.
Well, it's less surprise and more confusion. Lots and lots of confusion. Just take a seat with me, I'll sit down next to him and pull the sketchbook out and...
Huh.
Yeah, it's Cage, and it is weighty. We were wondering why it didn't seem to be pulling down on you. That's what these are. Maurice discovered that there were supports tied to some of your bones to keep it suspended inside of you.
And are those purple things painted on? What is
It's magic of some kind that was flitting about. Yeah. I don't know what this is. Does it spark any memory for you?
I don't suppose it sparked any memories for me.
Right now, it is a complete blank.
Hal, do you happen to know any wizards?
Are there any wizards local to this town?
There's a very prominent one. Running the library.
Right. The librarian.
Ah.
She might be able to answer some questions, but that's another person we may have to...
Well...
I don't like lying to the people in my town, so...
I mean, I think I can probably take it from here.
Fair enough. And she'll actually rip the picture out of the sketchbook and hand you the piece of paper. That's yours!
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm gonna go tend to Valile now. Zeshi's the only one keeping her eye on her, so... I'm gonna stand up and walk away.
I'll head to the library.
You head outside, and as you're walking towards the library, you remember where Clem pointed out, you remember seeing Edma heading in that direction. You notice Davi kind of looking a little bit lost, also mumbling something about Stickbert.
I like think about like going in another direction to avoid him, and then just like decide again.
Also, you can tell he's finally fashioned his little lizard cloak, because you didn't recognize him at first. On the back, it was just this short thing covered in green, lizard scale. Oh, wait a minute, that's a beak. Okay, hang on.
There.
Hi, Cedric. You stay over there. Davi will stay over here. Davi does not have time to play your silly games today. Davi needs to figure out how not to strike you with lightning.
Okay, is that a concern that you have at this point?
It is a concern for me. Lightning struck me yesterday. It could happen again. I wouldn't want you guys to be around when Davi gets struck by lightning.
You know
if it happened 3 times, Cedric, that's not normal.
No, it's not. How frequently has it happened?
Well, there was the one time on top of the mountain, then Davi got up and cursed at the clouds, and they struck him again, and then there was the one time last night. So 3 times.
And
I do not want to make this a habit, Sky people!
And how long ago were the first 2 instances?
2 months? But 2 months, give or take. There's not really calendars up on mountain, so it is more of a guess.
Fair enough. I mean, it doesn't exactly sound like a common occurrence.
I mean, how many people do you know that have been struck by lightning 3 times, Cedric?
I admit it is an anomaly. Is it worth asking Yargoth about? Seems like he'd be an expert, being a giant and all.
Yargoth is not just a giant, Yargoth is a storm giant.
Well, even better.
What did Yargoth know about Oh.
Well?
It is fair point. Davi will think about this, but first Davi needs to get gloves for his hands.
Rubber, I think.
Yes, that would probably be good. Something to not do the shaki on people who do not deserve it. But, the people that do deserve it, Davi's going to give them big bear hug.
I'd look forward to it.
That guard captain won't know what hit her.
Right, we'll unpack that later.
Okay, we'll see you later, Cedric. Davi is going to go into town. There is town here, right?
I believe we're...
He says, standing on the main road.
You are in town.
I sort of just blink. Like, what does this look like to you?
This looks like a bunch of buildings to me, Cedric. It's not about all the buildings clustered together that makes a town. God, Cedric, I thought you would know that.
What makes a town then? In your...
The people that sell the belts, Cedric, God!
Your... Let me see if I understand. Your criteria for whether or not something is considered as a town is if it has someone who sells belts specifically.
Is this not what David just said? He's just gonna pull Stickbird out. Stickbird, this is what David just said. Did you... Cedric, you need to get the undead out of your ears.
So I have an errand at the library that I need
Yeah,
to...
you go to your library. Maybe you can look up a book about what a town is.
Cedric will walk away.
You know what will be right next to the definition of a town? There's a man who sells the belts, or a woman. David does not discriminate.
God damn it.
Stop you, okay?
Davi's okay, he just doesn't understand what's going on.
Davi
Or the world around him, I mean.
Davi has I don't understand anxiety and I don't want to shock people anxiety.
The kid ain't all right.
That kid ain't...
Got a
The
few.
guitar riff.
Wow.
That boy ain't right.
That boy
Well,
just...
that just ain't right.
Boy, you're full of lightning, and that ain't right.
I'm gonna go into... Well, obviously this isn't a town, so I'm just gonna go into this cluster of buildings and see if I can find somebody who's selling gloves.
You know what? Given that it's Davi, I'd like an investigation check.
Okay.
Plot twist, you find belts.
Best thing, it finds belts instead. Mod 18.
Mod 18. All right. First question: are you going to ask anybody, or just try to find it yourself?
Are there people? I'm assuming there's people around.
Yeah, there's people going about their business on the streets. On the street.
I'll find the friendliest looking person.
I need to know what to spend this Amazon gift card on.
Friendliest looking person.
Can Davi correctly identify the friendliest looking
Oh, we're gonna find out.
What would Davi consider friendly attributes?
Big, tall, brawny, and scary.
Okay,
In
that
other
makes
words,
sense.
Looking like Yargoth.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I've got a big baby.
Ooh,
Look at the baby.
The tallest person and the burliest person you see around you is the guard captain going down the road.
Ah. Dražen, boy. I will walk up to her, but stay roughly 6 feet away.
Social distancing.
Okay.
Hmm?
Davi would like to ask you a question. Is there a place that sell gloves in this cluster of buildings you have down here?
If you're looking for gloves, most clothing items get shipped to the Perfect Cure, the tavern. They've got a sort of a general store section. That's probably what you're looking for.
Okay, well, thank you. Just a side note, Davi will wrestle you eventually, but he's having some problems with his body, so he cannot do that right now.
He's going through puberty.
Davi would like to wrestle you, but I feel like Shaki on your body...
me to my choke.
Yeah. I feel like Shaki on your body would be unfair, and that would not be the honorable giant thing to do. We can tell by your expression you do not follow what he is telling you.
No, I follow.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Yes.
Try not to
David-
cause any trouble.
Davi is trying not to get struck by lightning again or have anyone around get struck by lightning. That's why he stay away from people. By the way, I got struck by lightning last night. It's the 3rd time.
You've been around the horn a few times. Alright.
No, I have not been around the horn. I have been around the lightning. God, you're just like Cedric.
Does she think that's a euphemism?
Who?
Kind of pale. He wears a cloak like this one, but more battered than black.
Oh, the pale guy following Clem?
Yeah, he's kind of cool, but don't let him know that Davi said that. Davi does not want him to know. Davi is playing hard to get.
What?
Aren't you a bit young to consider him?
What do you mean, consider him? For friendship? Davi has already made that consideration.
You know, that's their problem. Good luck with your gloves, kid. Oh, and, work on your giant. Your grammar's a bit shit.
Oh, fuck.
And she's gonna walk off down the road.
What did you say?
Oh, no.
She did a
Dobby
dangerous
Is
thing.
going to rage.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh shit!
I will I'm not gonna directly target her, but like next to her. Unless I have to target her.
What's the wording on your rage ability?
Let's find the fuck out.
Oh, I see. That's good. I like that.
When you activate one creature of your choice in your aura takes lightning damage, DC,
Whoa.
Dex 13, half on a success.
I think Davi doesn't know what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
It doesn't. It doesn't say up to 1, and striking near a person wearing metal.
Alright, she needs to make a Dex save.
Well, she's gonna get disadvantage as her back is turned. That is not gonna cut the cheese. I'm gonna guess. What's your DC? Just so I can check.
DC 13.
13. That ain't gonna cut it, Chief. She is gonna fail that.
Alright.
Well, this just got
You will
interesting.
take 6 lightning damage.
Oh my god.
So, Davi, you'll see. In your utter rage, you'll see some lightning bounce between the feathers on one of your wings and shoot, and you're like, you know what? I'll give her a spook, and you'll shoot it. You'll see it go next to her, and then curve towards the metal armor, and strike her in the back, and she freezes in place for a second. And her head, almost like stone, just spins towards you.
I'm gonna ignore her for a moment and just look at my hands and be like, oh. And then look at her and go, oh.
She's going to march right up to you.
Oh Jesus!
Okay, David did not know that would happen. That is completely new.
Mm-hmm.
Look, David got struck by lightning last night and he's been zappy. But that is completely new and that is a new problem.
Davi, just taking your grave further.
What'd you say, Phoebe?
Davi, you're just digging your grave
You're not
further.
there.
You're not there.
I know.
I need popcorn for this.
Her hand is going to land on your head, Davi. And she's going to tighten, not super tight, but just enough that she can lift you off the ground and bring you to her height.
You have very firm hands.
Listen here, bird.
No, giant.
Cause trouble like that again? you will not live to see another lightning bolt strike you.
Well, now you also have been struck by lightning, so you and Doc have something in
believe
common.
Me, you do that again, and the only thing what's left of you will be good for is growing Clem's fruit. And she's just gonna drop you back onto your feet.
Will it be tasty fruit?
She is not going to answer that question, and she's going to walk back towards the guardhouse.
Okay, goodbye. We'll have wrestling match sometime later. I hope that you recover from getting struck by lightning. Holy crap. Stickbird! We struck her with lightning, which is bad. But we struck her with lightning, which is good. But not, we shouldn't have done that. But it was so cool, Stickbird. Did you see? Davi, what have you done?
Stickbird, with great power, Davi, comes great responsibility.
And I'll just put Stickbird away. Okay, need to get gloves. And then...
RJ, that's if you don't have it, that's an inspiration point for you already.
I already have inspiration.
I'm afraid they don't stack, but all those Stickbird conversations are still great. Keep going.
Yep, okay. Need to get gloves. Then I tell everyone that I and I will run off towards that general store.
All right. As you run off to the tavern that has the sort of general store in it, Cedric, you enter the library.
Yep. I will go up to the elf, right, that I've interacted with previously.
Yes.
Yes. Can you remind me
hello.
of her name? Do we know her name?
I'm not sure Clem ever told you her name.
Huh. Okay. I will then say, yes, hello again.
Hello. I hope the book you took out has been serving you well.
Most satisfactory. It has greatly reduced the amount of inane conversations I've had to get through.
Brilliant.
I'm actually here about something of a pet project of mine, research oriented, you understand.
All right. What kind of project?
So there's a body I came upon. You know, I'm an adventurer. These things sort of happen.
I know the life.
And this body, I happened to see it open, and the interior was unusual in a sort of arcane seeming sort of way, and I wondered if you'd ever seen, if you are familiar with anything like this, or of any books that might shed some light on. I'll just show you, and I hold up the paper. Does this mean anything to you?
She'll scoot the glasses a little further up her nose. And you say you saw this in a dead man?
Yes, quite.
These colored lines here, I assume this is...
some sort of arcane flow.
Arcane flow. Drawn in a fairly, for lack of a better word, schizophrenic pattern. If this is how it was truly moving, that is concerning. Let me see. Oh, well, I do not know your affinity for magical devices. I have been around many skilled artificers and wizards. I've never seen mana pass through an object in that sort of pattern. It is usually a much smoother pass over. This one is zigzagging, and it is time. Sorry, she's got them in. All right.
This sacrificing to the great old ones.
She must make her tribute.
Come on. Here he is.
Just like
What
immediately.
exactly was the nature of this man?
How do you mean?
Well, dead, obviously, long rotting. Perhaps where you found him, social status, if you can, any detail you can think of.
Social status, I'm not sure, but the body was remarkably well preserved. Just, you know, maybe a little pale, but
Someone I knew. Totally not me.
yep.
I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a
That's
friend.
exactly. He's trying his best.
You know, I've never seen something exactly like this, but it reminds me of experiments I have heard of.
All right.
Device is a bit barbaric. It almost. Well, I won't comment on anatomy. That would be one of the doctor's professions. Miss Clementine, I believe you travel with her. Oh, lovely young lady. And
She's taken an interest in this as well, considering it involves.
you said, and you're sure this man was dead?
Quite certain. Why do you ask?
Yes.
Well, given the runes inscribed, at least as long as this drawing is accurate, this would be, without seeing it in person, I will not make a definitive claim, but my well-educated guess would be this is meant to preserve life in some manner, the extent of which I could not tell you if it was meant as some kind of attempt at eternal life, eternal youth.
Oh no! Don't bring the eternal life shtick into this campaign. I knew it. Cedric's a fucking Black Weaver sleeper agent.
Could be meant to get the heart to pump more in, see, with the magic. Could be. Was this man wearing any military garb that you could see?
He had a robe with some sort of cult insignia on it.
A cult insignia. I ask because this almost looked like it is meant to. Again, can't speak to the effectiveness, but it looks like it is meant to almost accelerate someone's ability to heal. Obviously, likely someone not terribly well accessed to magic of the world, which sounds like something a military would, want to test with and then install on soldiers. Though I suppose a cult could.
Military
Again,
far from the only the people that have a need to fight.
Yes. If I had to narrow it down, I would. Okay, no. Looking at the runes more, I would say my best guess would be one of two options. This is either meant to accelerate someone's ability to heal themselves, or this is meant as a full numbing agent. It is meant so that you encase the heart, the magic somehow sends energy in, and the person does not feel pain. How effective it is, I couldn't tell you. And as I said before, the movement of these magic ley lines within erratic, and it doesn't seem to have. It's not following the runes. You see here, it's going around the runes that should be going straight over. They should be acting like a conductor forcing it to move across them. But if it's bouncing more like this, it is either defective or something has messed with it or interrupted it, and it may not be functioning correctly. Likely why you found the man dead, if this thing did in fact work.
Makes sense, Cedric says with his -1 Arcana.
Yes.
Cedric, the kind of guy who's like, yep, that's a car.
Right, so that certainly is something. Maybe the next step would be to do some research on the cult itself, if there's any sort of lead I can find on that.
Cults, not my particular area of interest, so I'm afraid I have not collected much on not on specific cults. There are books on ritualistic summonings, mostly how to stop them. Though some are summonings of more benevolent beings. But I did not research specific cults. You could ask Captain Roderick if maybe she's heard of whatever cult you are after. I suppose you could ask Pawn over at the tavern. He hears a lot.
Well,
Past that.
I think this has been most helpful. I will... Yeah, I'll put a gold on the table for her. For her time.
My thanks.
My pleasure.
She'll slide it over towards herself. Oh, do you still want to keep the book for a bit longer?
At least while we're in town.
It is perfectly fine. Just wanted to check.
Yes, we
Hold it as long as you would like.
I wouldn't dream of trying to take it with us out of town.
You could try. Would not work.
Indeed.
Give young Clementine my best if you see her again.
Certainly. And I'll be on my way.
Alright. Edma, question. Are you still just planning on still going through the books at Clem's house?
I'm still reading them, yeah.
Okay. Clem, you've gotten back to Valile's room at this point. There is a nurse giving her a general checkup. She is being caringly looked after with Zeshi on one side and Maurice on the other.
I'm just gonna find a chair on the side and try not to like crowd around her. And just kind of like she's being looked after, I will call from behind Zeshi, like, if you wanna go take a break, feel free to do what you need to. I'm done.
She's just gonna shrug her shoulders and be like, I've got nothing to do. I'll stay here.
Alright. Sure you don't want to make sure Davi isn't up to something wild.
If he was up to something wild, he would have done it by now. No point in me cleaning up now.
Fair enough.
Close to the door are you?
What?
How close to the door is that chair you grabbed?
Pretty close.
What's your
I'd
passive
say I'm
perception?
like maybe 2 or 3 feet. What percent?
What's your passive perception?
Not good. 13.
Given the close to the door, good enough. As you guys are having that conversation, as it calms down, you lean back, you take your deep breath. You can kind of hear a little bit of bustling going on outside the door. And you hear what sounds like a conversation almost like right next to the door. Two of the workers. Have you heard Gwith say we might have to look out for more patients? Yeah. Yes, some dumbass struck the guard captain with lightning. Can you believe it? Oh my god, I'm surprised there wasn't blood in the streets. I know, right? Such a little guy, too. Like a third her size. Try a fifth!
Zesty, you might want to go check on Darby.
If this is some kind of terrorist attack, this is going to cause quite the havoc. I feel like if it was a terrorist attack, we'd already have patients.
Zesty, I really would go check on Darby right now.
Yeah, Zeshi, assuming I'm not hearing this, is just going to look at her and see, like, why, you got a third sense there? What was sixth sense there? What's it?
No. The nurses gossip enough. Just go.
Yeah. She's just going to look confused because is Zeshi hearing the gossip? I'm assuming not.
No, you're a bit too far from the door. Plus, you've got Valila, you've got Marie sitting there, the nurse.
Yeah.
You're not sure what Clem's talking about, but she seems concerned.
Alright, go find Dobby. You'll be alright though, right?
I'll be fine. I don't know if he will.
Alright, so Zeshi's just gonna, glance back at, each person and then leave and go see if she can find what the disturbance in the forest is with Dobby.
As you exit the door, you do hear, yeah, something about a little guy. I think he scattered off towards the tavern. You don't think he's going to start more trouble, do you? If he does, I'll kill him myself. Look, if Pawn gets injured, that whole place shuts down.
She's gonna hear "kill him myself," and then whoever said that's gonna get glared at by a Dragonkin sorcerer.
Angry Mom Claire.
The guy's gonna look over. Ma'am, can I help you? Do you need to be seen?
Where is my Davi?
Where
Your what?
is my bird?
Davi? Is that your kid? Your friend?
She's just gonna say, giant Kenku about yay big.
Giant Kenku, yay big.
You know what giant means?
Don't ask. Where is he?
I don't know if it's him, but there was some little creature in a lizard pelt with bird feet heading off towards the tavern down the road.
Lizard pelt, bird feet, don't know what it is. But it's starting trouble.
What did he do?
Apparently struck the guard captain with lightning. It's all anyone's talking about right now. We're surprised nobody got beheaded. Not literally, the captain wouldn't just do that, but, metaphorically speaking. At least I don't think the captain would. Unless you gave her flashbacks.
Zeshi's gonna. I'm just gonna actually came up with another thing I could have Zeshi do with her lightning background. Zeshi's gonna do shocking grasp on her fingertips and just rub her temples. Electrotherapy.
You're right, ma'am? You sure you're good?
I'm fine. She's just gonna turn around and walk and go to the tavern and find Dobby.
Hello.
Tavern's to the left of the road.
She's just gonna wave over her shoulder.
Zeshi, you drag yourself down the road. The tavern's not super hard to identify. The perfect cure sounds like a tavern, smells like a tavern. It is a tavern.
It's a duck.
And thankfully, despite his size, walking inside, Davi is also not hard to spot.
She's just gonna walk right up behind him and just doing like the stern mom with hands on her hips, just like looking down at him. Davi.
I'll look up. No, Daisashi. No, you tell me, barman. I need to find these gloves. Being inside of this building is already dangerous for everyone in here.
Davi, speaking of dangerous, what did you do to the guard captain?
Listen, David did not do that. That was Stickbird.
That was Stickbird. Was it? Stickbird's betrayed.
Ooh, somebody's trying to throw
Insert
Stickbird
evil
under the bus.
Morty music.
Stickbird will remember this.
Jesse's just gonna go, what was it now? Stickbird, do you have anything to say about this?
Stickbird, you better not rat Duffy out. And then his hand will just slowly come up behind him. No, Stickbird. No! Stickbird, no! And then his hand will grab it and pull it out. Duffy struck the guard captain with lightning! Damn it, Stickbird!
So, Davi, you were saying?
Okay, Davi struck, but it was so cool. Davi could pew zap. It just kind of happened, alright? It was not done on purpose. But she insulted me first. But I don't think that really makes it right to zap her with lightning. You should not have zapped her with lightning, Davi. It is not good. She hurt your feelings, but you hurt her body. Yes, I know, Stickboard.
You know, Zeshi's hand's gonna start sparking and just be like, yes, Davi, I know how cool and fun it is to throw around lightning. We might have to work on it.
Davi did not expect it. Usually when Davi gets mad, he just gets mad. You know? It's just regular anger, not zappy anger.
Well, now you might have storm giant anger. How about that? Think of it that way.
Davi has storm giant anger. This is most acceptable. And then Stickbird's gonna sit there, look at Davi, look at you, Zeshi. I do not like these ideas you're putting in his head.
The sooner he accepts it, the sooner we can get it under control.
And then he'll put Stickbird away. Okay, barman, I need gloves. Insulated gloves, like rubber. That is what Cedric said. Do not want to zap people.
I don't know why this popped in my head, but I just had in my head, conceal, don't feel, don't let it show.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Dobby is not Elsa.
Dobby's not Elsa.
Radical.
Dobby is now Princess
Wait,
Elsa.
Barman's just been sitting there, like, very calmly cleaning a glass through this entire argument.
I'm reading very patiently.
He's just gonna set down the glass without saying a word. And just from his other hand, he's just gonna lay two gloves on the table that are leather, but they have, like, rubber across the palms and fingers.
Oh, that'll probably work.
He'll hold up a silver coin and just...
Oh, just three of them, and okay, Davi will just... he's gonna put it down, pull out his axe, and then slowly push the money over with the wooden handle.
He'll just scoop the coins up.
Okay. Sorry, barman, Davi did not want to shock you because the money is metal. And he'll take the gloves and just... I'm just gonna grab the nearest metal thing.
There's a mug sitting near you that has a metal handle and some metal barring. You grab it, and you grab it.
Oh! Back to normal! This is good. And Davi will walk over and just kind of like hug your leg. See? No zappy zap.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm gonna hug your leg.
I thought you meant the bartender for a second.
No, not the bartender,
So
no.
touch confused.
Yeah. I'll hug your leg and just go, see? No zapping. Good now.
Very good, Navi. She's gonna pat his head. Does he have any feathers sticking up anywhere again?
You wouldn't see them, so I have a hood on.
Oh, that's right, you have the hood
Not
on.
that you can see. That's fair. Not that you can see.
I have to go tell everyone that I struck the guard captain with lightning.
Oh, about that.
I'm gonna look at you, Zeshi, and just look down at Davi, look back at you.
Did she say anything when she left? I'm assuming that since you're not arrested, everything's...
She said something about me being used to grow fruit, but, you know, she's just being friendly. Well, maybe not friendly. What is it, Yargoth call it? Hospitality. She was showing local hospitality. It's very, mean, but, you know, that is how the locals do.
I'm not
That
going
is how only one local does.
I'm not going to try to discern what that was. Alright, so assuming you're not arrested, everything should be okay. Just
everything...
don't do it again.
Okay. Don't strike the guard captain with lightning again. Only wrestle her.
If she agrees to it. If she agrees to it.
Oh, Davi could wrestle a bear with lightning.
That you can do.
Okay. And Davi's just gonna zip out of the fucking tavern back to Clem's house.
You zip out just as Cedric is on that part of the road. And Cedric, you see this blur of black and green just whoop and head on down the road.
I just kind of like, I'll see Cedric. Oh, hi Cedric, I struck the guard captain with lightning.
Well, this can't be. Well, this does not bode well.
Then she's gonna walk out behind, casually walk out the tavern. Do I see Cedric, I'm assuming?
Anything I should be warned about?
Hopefully not. Just keep an eye out for angry guard captains for the next few days.
Fair.
Hopefully we don't have a repeat performance. He now has rubber gloves. And I'll personally be working on him with him so that he can control the urge to... She's going to spark her hands.
Well, I hope you can instill a sense of responsibility. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not touching that situation myself. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, she, in response to, saying touching the situation, she's going to, bounce lightning between her fingertips. Yeah, smart.
All right.
Where's Clem? Is she still that's right, she's still
back at home.
Yeah, last you saw,
No,
she's still at the
I'm
institute.
still at the institution.
Oh, you're
Alright,
Do you?
Yeah.
Alright, so she's still talking to Cedric. That being said, can you keep an eye on him? I'm going to go back to Clem.
He'll...
Good. Before you even say anything, she's going to smack you on the shoulder. All right, thank you, and then walk off.
Cedric will curse under his breath.
Hi.
Go look
What's
for
the matter?
Donnie.
Oh my goodness. Come here. Come here.
That little blur seemed to be running towards Clem's house.
Yeah, I'm gonna head in that direction.
Where'd you go?
Clem, in the
Yes?
institute, the nurse wraps up the examination and turns to you. Well, it's certainly gotten worse. Not massively. So, it is progressing as we expected, not as we hoped.
Still.
The good news is we have developed something that might work a little better. Given that you're currently her caretaker, we'll present you the choice. We can either up her dosage by about a quarter more than what she's doing now, or we can add a second medication at a lower dose to go with this that should hopefully keep things in check.
Define what you mean by could hopefully.
So obviously upping her current dosage on what she's taking now will continue to treat symptoms as they come up. What this second medication would aim to do is suppress her symptoms more effectively. It won't stop coughing fits. It should lessen them and would specifically be meant to try to help stop any tears from forming, so less hacking blood.
I do like the idea of the second option, but I want something in case she does have a coughing fit that may calm it down faster.
Okay.
Perhaps more of the first dose just to take as an emergency,
We can set you up with just more of her usual medication.
and then we'll continue on with this new one in hopes that it'll alleviate more.
Yes, if you decide to go with the new medication, it is in addition to what she's taking now. It is not a replacement. It is to supplement. It attacks the symptoms the first medicine isn't as good at attacking, which weren't as big of a concern before, given this current fit could be more warranted.
All right, let's do it. We'll see how she does.
All right, she'll write something on a small pad. One bottle should last you a good while. I would say with her normal dose of medicine, give her about a teaspoon of this other medication with it, and that should hopefully help keep things in check. Let us know if anything goes wrong, if it doesn't seem to be working.
All right. I'll have to update Maurice on this, considering I'm out and about as much as I am.
Just like has Valile tucked into her. Oh, I heard all of it.
Oh, well, all right.
It is whatever you want to do, Clem. I'm just here to help.
We'll go with this then.
As to that, everything has calmed down for now. She should be stabilized, good to go back home. Obviously,
I guess she wakes up in her own bed, then just the hospital again. Now that usually puts a damper on her mood.
I would recommend, given her interests, try to keep the bugs away from her for a little bit. If one tickles her nose or gets near her mouth, I don't want to preemptively start agitating her coughing.
I could have her wear a mask. I don't know how feasible it is to keep bugs away from that girl, or rather that girl away from bugs.
She doesn't need to keep away from them permanently, just while she sleeps and isn't able to herself keep them away from that area.
I'll have her wear a mask.
All right.
At the very least.
Past that, she's all right. The bleeding is not constant or consistent. It seems to just be a small tear. It happens.
All right.
No additional risk on that. It should heal itself over the next few days. Take it easy. We'd recommend very little stressful physical activity. Walking around is fine, but no running, no lifting heavy objects for a bit.
The normal.
The
Understood.
usual. You know the rigmarole by now. Nothing that could put any strain on her breathing.
Yep.
Well, best of luck to you, and well.
The crime. There's 2 cats on that table.
2 cats.
1, 2.
That's a 2-cat table, don't you know?
It's a 2-cat table, don't you know?
It's a 2-cat table.
Get down. Get your butt. Get up. Scooped. Scooped.
There is a good solution to cat, is a scoop.
He's soft. He likes belly pencils.
So Maurice is going to stand up and just pick up Valile. Well then, shall we go get the medicine and get her back to her bed?
Yes, that sounds like a plan.
All right. As you two exit, a little ways down the hallway, you meet up with a now more stressed out looking Zeshi.
Everything all right?
Well, the good news is that Davi's not arrested. The bad news is that Davi might get arrested. He apparently lost control of his newfound electricity and shocked the guard captain.
What?
Davi got emotionally upset and struck the guard captain with lightning. He didn't tell me exactly what she said to upset him, but he got upset.
The guard captain.
Yes, the guard captain. He's still alive, though. He's not arrested. He's actually currently on his way to your house, as far as I'm aware. Cedric's watching
He
me.
struck Captain Rogren. Oh dear. Oh my god.
Do I remember why this is a problem? More than normal?
I think she doesn't like you specifically.
Other than that?
The thing about Gash is she is good about keeping her emotions in check for the most part and keeping them away from work, except where the two line up. But in rare occasions, striking a war veteran can cause them to flip back into survival mode.
Shit.
Not like PTSD, but they can flip back into, oh, this is a fight, okay. In fact, you remember she did do it to a drunkard that tried to stab her. His arm was broken in 2 places.
What? All war veterans think that they're back in an old war? What are you talking about? Baka doesn't remember this.
Baka
I should remember it by now. Remember, he had his dementia cured.
No. Baka has his emotional support bread.
Baka has his emotional support.
Are we gonna completely ignore the sock?
Oh, there's no ignoring Lancelot.
There's no ignoring.
Hi.
Also, with sock. He Lancelot.
Yeah, even with his dementia cured, he's gonna have in his pocket the Lancelot sock, just there.
Why do you have a sock? He
Good
reminds
memories,
me of an
good
old
memories.
friend.
He doesn't exist now because I'm not as delirious as I once was.
But yeah, it's that, but also just in general, Gash's temper can be more of a strike me first and now you're in trouble kind of thing. She's not the first one to throw a punch, but by God is she sometimes the last.
Alright, I'm going to recommend you take Valile to your home for a little while I get this sorted out and that all calms down. Because Lord knows we don't need any more stressing her out. And if Gash shows up in my house and anything happens between them and Davi, I'd rather not have Valile around for that.
That is
At least for today.
That is a fair point. All right, I could take her to my place. I don't.
Sorry.
Oh, well, at least I mean, if the captain let him go off the street, I'd assume she's willing to overlook this for some reason. I see your point. I'll take her to my place if you'd feel better.
It's just the night, at least. If Gal shows up today.
All right.
Considering you know how much she wants an excuse to come around and bully me. Sir.
Yes. She does not hesitate to use these kind of things against you. Is there, I can't believe I'm asking this, a security bug I could take? The last time I had her over my house, she whined that she couldn't find any and then went outside while I wasn't looking.
Is what? What?
A security bug. She gets upset if she can't find bugs, and I keep my house quite clean. As I know you try to, but given her.
Right, well...
I could try to just keep her upstairs, if you prefer.
We'll keep her at my house. It's fine.
If
I
nothing,
don't want to make it any more difficult on you.
Well, we can
The
take
hell?
solace. The captain does
You gonna get any?
respect the fact that you are taking care of a child, so hopefully she understands not to cause a ruckus, as long as your little friend understands the same thing.
Oh, getting that through Davi's head might be difficult. Might not be difficult. It's kind of a roulette with him, but
We get the
Yeah.
head stuff there. Between you and your sorceress friend here, perhaps just try to drill that in ahead of time, just in case.
yeah. Understood. And I'll hold my arms out to take the child.
And she will playfully lay in your arms. All right, you know where to find me if you need it. If you need my assistance with anything.
I'll let you know.
Yes, I'll just be wrapping up over at work, so.
Thank you again for today with Cedric.
Anytime. You know you can call me for just about anything. Besides,
Just about.
I must admit he was a very interesting case to be a part of.
Well, I figured at the very least you'd be interested.
Very. That was something.
Not every day you see that sort of thing.
No. I wouldn't say even every lifetime.
Sure, just don't ask the characters in Prosperity about this.
Pretty sure they have no idea either.
About what?
Well, the
Cage
comment
art?
just you don't see something like that. Just weird necromancy shit.
Oh, well,
Is it even
general weird
necromancy?
necromancy shit.
True.
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, they know all about weird necromancy shit, but do they know anything about weird cages around people's hearts? Currently, I think the answer is no.
I know a guy. His name's Sora.
Alright, so with you and Zeshi heading back to the house, Edma,
Hello.
your reading session is very quickly interrupted by a small Kenku bursting through the door in a lizard pelt. Excitedly.
Hello, Davi.
I'm back. Hey, it's just you here? Or-
Yes, everybody seems to be out, but
Oh.
I'm enjoying my poetry.
Edma, I struck the guard captain with lightning.
Oh, well, good job. She'll give you a pat on the head.
Validation.
No, you're teaching him the wrong lessons.
Davi
It
was
hurts.
just validation for being shit.
I don't know if it really hurt that much, but she was wearing metal armor, and she did kind of have eyes that said, if you zap me with lightning again, I'm going to rip out your spine and beat you to death with it. But she probably didn't mean it.
Well, Sour old witches like that deserve a little annoyance here and there.
Moon's being a good boy and letting me pet his face with trash.
Well, you did give him mint.
Yep, he's just sitting there.
Is that all you did while you were out?
Oh, I got gloves, so I wouldn't accidentally zap anybody who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, what's up with all of this zapping people thing? I thought it was you getting struck by lightning, not other people.
Well, I got struck by the lightning, but whenever I don't have, I'll show you the gloves. These gloves on, I will do a little sparky. But the captain said that my giant was no good, and by insulting my giant, she was insulting Gargoth. And Davi could not stand for that, so Davi got mad, like he usually does. But instead, this time, the lightning came out of him and zapped her.
Ah, well, that sounds great. You stuck up for your master, and you learned something from him.
This is not my master, he is my dad.
Sorry, I was relating myself to you.
Is your dad called Master?
No.
Is he the master of dad? Is he the master of all dads?
No, I don't quite know my father. Not directly.
How do you not know your father, Edma?
Because Leonin are raised in packs, kind of. We have our pride. And you grow up together. I didn't quite grow up with mine. They died early on, and then my master took me in.
I'll be just sitting here, just math lady meme. Well, I mean, I guess if that worked for you, but you could probably ask Cedric to be your dad.
Cedric didn't seem to want to be a mother. I doubt he wants to be a father.
Well, maybe he needs to try the other role. He go back and forth. Maybe on some days he can be a mom, and on other days he can be a dad.
Why are you so
I know.
excited?
We can have joint parenting custody. On certain days of the week, he'll be my mom, and on other days of the week, he'll be your dad.
And right on cue, Cedric, you have entered the house. This is what you walk in on.
What?
Cedric, how old are you?
He doesn't know. He doesn't have his memories, remember?
Moon,
At least
what are you
20.
doing? Child.
Probably older than him.
You're 20 years old.
Be my father.
Well, why
You're-
not?
Probably closer
He's
to 30.
younger than me.
Well,
Why are
who
you so
cares if
excited
he's
about a
younger
gift
than
card?
you? It does not matter what his age is. All that matters is he has the spirit of a father inside of him.
Davi, I have told you before I have no interest in parenting.
That's what all of the dads say when they first start. But then you have to see the wee little babies, and you're like, oh, I hate this thing. But then eventually you learn to love it, and you nurture it, and then you give it a silly name. Or was that dogs?
Why do you give it the name after you get it and spend time with it?
Well, you don't want to give it a name that it doesn't like.
Davi, did you strike the guard captain with lightning?
Who told you that, Stickbird? Did you sell me out?
Maybe don't do that.
It wasn't intentional.
Don't do that.
She insulted his father.
It was not intentional. It just kind of happened, you know? Davi got mad and lightning came out and then struck the guard captain, and then she gave me angry eyes, but she probably didn't mean it.
I think she might have, actually.
No, everyone wants to be friends with Davi. Well, maybe not you, Cedric, because we still have to pencil you in for what parental role you're going to accept.
You seem to be forgetting that I also had some strange force go inside me, and I haven't figured out what...
Was it the spirit of a father?
He could be an uncle.
I don't know what it was, Davi. I doubt that's what it was.
I think it's deadly energy.
Davi, I think you're projecting your parental needs onto other people.
What do you mean to projecting
Why do you even
parental?
want me to be a parent to you? You have Yargoth. Isn't that more than enough already?
I mean, one can never have too many dads, Cedric.
Oh my god, it's the Lazuli school of thinking. Your family can never be too big.
God forbid Lazuli meets Davi and be like, brother.
Oh God.
Brother, come, meet all your new uncles and aunts. All of them.
All of them.
She would be
Yeah.
delighted.
Cedric, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you at all today.
I've been doing some research.
As have I. And I'll hold up my book on poetry.
Hmm.
Anything interesting?
You're... I'll be honest, you didn't strike me as the poetry type.
Well, after my near-death experience, it made me think about my master some more, and I remembered some important things he had told me about before he had passed, and felt it was time to revisit those things.
So your master was a literary poetry guy?
Not quite, but he felt that it was important for a good samurai to know their words well.
What's so important about poetry and hitting people?
Well, your words are just as important as your knife or your sword.
Does that mean that Davi has to rhyme his curse words when he cuts people?
No, that's not what that means at all.
Schlock. Fuck.
Schlock isn't a
What
curse
rhymes with shit?
pit, but that's not important right now.
Yes, that is it. I will cut him and say, I put you in the shit pit.
Oh no!
Somewhere.
I'm gonna say the other two walk in as he says that.
Somewhere a goblin sneezes.
Hey.
Davi, what is that foul language coming out of your mouth?
Oh,
He's trying to rhyme his curse.
Davi is attempting poetry with curse words.
Alright. Listen. I also heard about your meeting with the god captain today.
Oh yes, it was a very shocking experience for both
Very
of us.
funny pun, Davi.
Ah,
However,
I get that one.
I'm going to need you.
Edna having a fucking Drax moment.
That's a Captain America moment right there.
I'm going to need you to tone it down a little.
Well, look, David is not expecting for lightning to come out of his hands.
Well, I heard you got angry at her, and
I
then
did. She said that my giant was no good, which means Gargoth's giant is no good. You can insult Davi all you want, but insulting Gargoth, that's a no-no, Clam.
understood. However, you remember that coughing fit that Vilile had this morning?
Yes, Davi was here when that happened.
Well, we need to avoid that happening. And if you go about angering the captain god, considering that she doesn't like me very much, she may find that as a good excuse to come here and harass me.
Well, that's
And-
okay. If that happens, Davi will accept responsibility and,
Well, I
You know.
understand that you'll accept responsibility since you're a very good giant. I hate saying that. However, for Valile's sake, you were smiling at me. Why are you smiling at me like that?
and all the words that you just said, I did not hear any of them. I just heard the one word. It makes me so happy, Clam.
Alright, well, I need you to hear what I'm saying.
Hold on, just give me 5 more seconds to enjoy this moment. Just say for you.
Right now, it's your turn to deal with this. I'll pat Clem on the shoulder and leave over.
Tap out.
I thought for sure he was gonna smack Zeshi as if to say, "Yeah, you're back in."
Okay,
Tag
Davi
you.
is ready to listen.
We need to keep things quiet and relaxed for her.
Okay.
Nothing that will spur a coughing fit.
Mm.
And if the captain god comes here and you two potentially get in a fight, I'm not saying it will happen, there's a potential.
Threaten Davi with a good time.
At least keep it in your mind to take her away from the building.
Davi would definitely harass her and curse at her and call her mean words, so she would get very mad and follow him away from here.
It's crackhead
Davi already
hours.
has a plan.
I don't know if you can see it from here. Or you can't.
Well, there's a knock at the door.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh dear.
We've got Lola. Mad crackhead hours. She's running around like a nutcase.
Mad
Hold on.
I mean,
crackhead hours.
Moon's vibing.
Poke. They're both looking at me like I just yelled at them. Alright, well, she stopped. Anyway. So,
There was a knock.
I'm gonna take her up to bed now.
There was a knock at the door.
Yeah,
I suppose I'll
What?
go over to the door and open it.
there was a knock at the door.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. I'll just turn around and open it.
So you turn around and kind of you took a moment after speaking to check on Valile. You hear the knocking, like, oh, what could it be now? You hear the door opening. You turn and see Davi opening it, and there's Gash.
Oh, I did not expect to see you so soon. Are you well?
She just glances down at you, looks over at Clem. No, I'm not here about him.
What are you here about then?
May we, talk without the little one?
Yes, just wait here a moment. I'll take her upstairs. I'll just go put Valile in her bedroom, and I'm gonna put a mask on her face before I leave. Just while she's sleeping.
Yep, her bed already has several bugs on it.
Told you it was inevitable. And then I'll return back down.
I heard you had an encounter with a rather unsavory group while you were in Thalorn.
Yes. They were dealing illegal bunk magic items.
Yes, we had a few here as well. I'm merely here to ask what you know, because while I did manage, well, my guards assisted as well, I can't take all the credit, in getting the ones that attempted to set up shop here out of town. It seems either they or someone else placed a rather suspicious crate.
Well,
And I
hello.
wondered if you knew anything about it before anyone opened it.
Did you bring it with you?
We didn't want to move it.
Could you take us to it?
I can if you'd be willing to come with. And if
Absolutely.
somebody could resist striking it with lightning,
I think we've all already had the talk with him. I apologize that happened at all.
perhaps he mistook my advice for an insult. It happens.
He got
I-
gloves. If that's any consolation. Rubber gloves? Oi! Quit picking at the couch.
Good for him. Well, however many you'd like to bring with you, if you'd come with me.
Absolutely. Folks? Looks like we've got some more of our, original reason for returning. Suspicious crate. Suspicious magic items.
Well,
Suspicious figures.
Davi will go for the magic items and to make sure that the guard captain does not be mean to Clam.
I think
She's
we
being
sh-
quite polite right now, thank you.
This seems
Well,
like a
Davi-
case of all of us should check this out.
Yes.
Dobby just wants to make sure that it stays that way, alright?
I don't have a
Alright.
bookmark. Could someone lend me a piece of paper or something?
Dobby's just gonna pull out Stickport and break off like a tiny twig from him. Here, Stickport has sacrificed part of his body so you may keep your book.
Oh my
Take it
god!
and put it in and go, well, I guess I can't get rid of that bookmark.
You best keep that forever, Edbud.
Most certainly will. It was a gift from my dear friend Davi and Stickman.
Oh.
He's actually going to like go and just like turn around laughing.
You can't tell right now, but Stickport is blushing. He might have a crush on you, Edma.
Real good for him.
Between you and me, I don't think you're his type.
Clem is
I'll
probably
agree with
just
you.
kind of standing there like,
So, fake magic items.
She's actually left the room, and you might hear some gales of laughter from wherever she went.
you have to excuse him. He's quite the eccentric little man.
Dobby's just gonna look around and see everybody like trying not to laugh. Did somebody tell a funny joke? Dobby does not get the joke.
He will let you know.
Did someone tell a joke?
He sat outside
I have no clue.
headquarters yelling. Anyway, collect your friends and come with me, please.
Alright, let's go.
Alright.
Yep.
Onward we march.
And she will lead you all down the road and behind the morgue, where sits a single black crate with a few guards standing around it. They're not facing it, they're, obviously keeping an eye for anyone approaching it.
I don't like seeing this so close to Maurice's place of work. That bothers me quite much.
Well, don't suppose she had anything to do with it, do you?
No. She's not that type.
Hmm.
I know you see us as shady, but we're not that shady.
Oh, no. Maurice is a mortician. She's just doing her job.
Well, let's just get this over with and see what's in the box. Davi will go first. You all can back up, and if something zappy Davi, it's probably immune to lightning now.
I don't know about immune, darling,
Zap,
but
zap, Davi.
Well, then Davi will be in excruciating pain, and all of his friends will have to love him and nurse him back to health.
Be
Is-
careful.
is this a roundabout way of you getting more attention out of us?
What? No, Davi would never do anything like that. Stickport around to us.
Well, no time.
So let me get this straight. Your expertise in this matter is to just open it.
Well, what? It's a box. You open boxes, and he's just gonna walk
Davi,
over.
don't.
And
Fast.
here I thought getting your input would be helpful. I could have just done this ourselves.
Yes, well now you won't be at risk. Mr.
I'll
Shepard.
examine the
It is my
box.
job to put myself at risk for this town, ma'am.
Well,
Can
then
I-
consider yourself not at risk today, and that this is an apology for hitting you with the lightning that I didn't know I could do.
Can I do an Arcana or investigation check to see if there's any suspicious runes or some shit on here,
I
or
second
some
that.
kind of magic?
I second that motion.
Sure, either of
I
you
mean, wait,
can...
hold on. She was.
Also, I assume we're getting close to.
Yes, we are getting very
I
close.
want to use detect magic actually.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic, and you do detect an aura on the box, not in the box.
Does it say what school of magic it is?
Enchantment. And I think we're going to leave it there for this
Okay.
week.
Whack,
Sounds
whack,
good.
whack. Fun.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
box?
Tell
What's in the
me.
box?
You opened the box.
You opened the box. I came!
Don't worry, guys. Look, don't worry. It belonged to this chick, Pandira or whatever, and it's gonna be fine.
Pandora?
Plot drop.